Have you ever wondered if you should be using an XLR microphone or a USB microphone for your live streaming? This is what we're gonna be talking about in this video. Personally, I've used both, and as you can see, I'm surrounded by microphones. I got one XLR mic. I'm using another XLR mic, which is the Shure SM7B, and I've got a USB microphone that I have actually been using for quite some time, and I've got an interface here, and I've got another interface that I'm using to record this video. So I'm gonna be giving you my tips and my opinion actually when it comes to using either to pick up an XLR mic or a USB microphone for live streaming. Which one is good for you and which one should you avoid? So let's go. What's going on, guys? Some live production tips and tools here. So I've had these questions multiple times, not only coming from other people streaming, even from myself. I wondered the time that I started live streaming if using a USB microphone was better than using an XLR microphone. Nobody ever told me or gave me a definite answer to that. And after using for a long time using a USB microphone and switching to an XLR microphone, I believe I am in a good position to actually tell you what you should do for your live streaming. So what's the difference between an XLR microphone and a USB microphone? A USB microphone is gonna be something like this. This is the Tonor TC40, and as you can see on the bottom here, it has a USB output. All right, most of the time, of course, most of the time, actually all the time, it's gonna come with a USB cable that you connect directly into the microphone. Now from the microphone, you're gonna go directly into your computer. Now if you go to OBS or any other streaming software, you're gonna be able to add the microphone, and if you're lucky enough to have something like a volume knob and of course a headphones jack to be able to monitor your audio, that's gonna be awesome, because now you get yourself a microphone that can be added directly to your streaming software, so you don't have to struggle trying to add any extra gear. Simply need your mic, your USB cable, and you are good to go. And most of the time, these microphones, again, depending on which one you get specifically, I'm gonna leave some recommendations down below in my description, including this one actually that I've been using, the Tonor TC40, which comes in as a kit, you know, the boom arm and everything that you need to kind of start live streaming or using it to create content. But what I'm trying to say is you have everything that you need to actually go live. Now when it comes to adjusting, depending on how the microphone sounds, you're gonna have to use a software to make some adjustments. If you need to add some effects, audio effects, compressions and stuff like that, you can use OBS or any other audio processing software to be able to process the mic internally in your computer to be able to get the voice or the sound that you want. Now when it comes to XLR, it's gonna be a little different. So we got this Maono PM500, which is an XLR condenser microphone. As you can see, the connection is a little different. All right, and in most cases it's gonna come with a cable that looks like this. In audio world, it's called analog, right? It's kind of being processed, you know, use electricity, I believe, while for digital it's uses numbers. I mean, we don't need to know that for today, but it's just using analog to be able to send that signal coming from your mouth to the computer. You're gonna need something called an interface, because the computer cannot see analog. So you need something that's going to translate the analog language into digital. So that's what's called an interface. And the interface is gonna have a USB cable output, right, that's going to be connected to the computer. The computer now can understand the audio coming from your mic, and how it's gonna work is you have now controls on your interface that you can use to adjust. Some interfaces are gonna be a little more fancier. This is a pretty basic interface that just allow you to adjust the volume, the the gain and everything. You also have an option to monitor. So as you can see, basically a USB microphone is like microphone that has an interface built into it, so you don't have to add an interface. While for an analog or an XLR microphone, it's just a mic with a cable that needs an interface I have to buy separately, and you're gonna need the cable to send to your computer to be able to use it. Is it better now to use an XLR microphone compared to USB microphone? In my opinion, if you're getting started and you don't have a a big budget, because one of the cons of using this setup here with XLR microphone is it's gonna be more expensive because you're buying two pieces of gear, right? So somehow logically you're gonna spend a little more money, and the setup is gonna, you're gonna have a lot of stuff on your desk for sure, because it's not just one piece of gear. While for USB microphone, again, depending on which one you're buying, it's gonna be mostly less expensive and it's gonna be more straightforward. So you're not gonna have a bunch of gear on your desk taking up space, right? It's just gonna be straightforward into the computer and you're kind of ready to go. So I would say if you're getting started and you're trying to save money and you're trying to keep it as simple as possible, USB mic is gonna be the best option, especially if you're starting out. This setup here, the XLR setup, one of the pros, of course, is gonna be the fact that you can process your microphone externally. Why is it a good thing? The reason why it's a good thing is as you create content or as you go live, sometimes you need to have that access. You live streaming, you live, you don't want to be doing everything inside your computer, right? You want to be able to kind of add effects, EQs and stuff like that without having to rely on your computer. And that's something that you can do with an interface, maybe not this one, but if you have something like the Vocaster Pro 2 or something like the Vocaster ONE, which is the interface that I use, I can actually EQ everything on my interface. I can add EQ compression. I mean, not the Vocaster, but some interfaces are gonna come with some sort of compression, so you can EQ, add a compressor, do everything on an external device. That way you don't have to rely on your computer. You can use your computer to do other stuff, especially if you're a one-man kind of band. You don't want to be adjusting your microphone, listening to it, and like all on the computer, right? You can have everything set up and then it goes to the computer kind of ready to go, so you don't have to worry about it. You set it up once and you're good to go. Right? You don't have to start it in maybe another computer and do some routing inside your computer. Like it can get overwhelming with the USB microphone depending on how advanced you want to go. So that's where having an XLR microphone kind of setup helps you, because you have more controls outside of your actual computer, which is amazing. And personally, I feel like I have to upgrade now to something like a Vocaster Pro, because I want to create content faster. And by doing that, I want to make sure I'm not applying any effects inside my computer, like using a software or anything. I just want to make sure the audio is perfect before it hits my computer, so my computer doesn't have to worry about anything. I just have to add an audio source inside OBS that is already processed. Everything is done for me and I don't have to worry about anything. Okay, but this comes with experience and time. So another cool thing about having an XLR microphone setup is the fact that with your interface you can connect some other stuff without having to pass through the computer. So like this interface, for example, you have two outputs which can allow you to output the signal into maybe some speakers, maybe some you have some studio monitors and everything. You can also connect directly from this to the camera. So if you want to maybe use the audio going to the computer through USB for streaming, you can also have another output that's going directly into your camera, and you can use that to record your audio. Maybe you want to use it as a backup audio, or you are actually recording it, just like maybe you live streaming and creating a video at the same time. That could be super handy. So with an interface like this, you have a lot of possibilities, a lot of processing power, outputs and everything, and you can choose any interface you want. If you get something like the Vocaster Pro 2, it's a mix, it's an interface, it's like everything's got EQ, compressions, everything. So it's just, you have so many options with the XLR mic. But with that being said, it doesn't mean that that's what you need. So how do you pick which one is right for you? In my opinion, USB is simpler, beginner friendly, cheaper, and amazing. But if you want to get more advanced after some time creating content, you feel like you need to get more advanced, more processing power, you need a lot of effects maybe before you hit the computer, connect maybe your audio, send it to an external camera for recording a backup audio, for recording content and stuff like that, maybe add some studio speakers through the interface and still be able to have a signal into the computer, then having an XLR microphone is gonna be for you. So I hope this was helpful. I know it's been a long video, but I wanted to make sure you guys understand the difference between the two, but also know which one is the right for you. But guess what? If you want to hear some of these microphones in action, I've got a full video testing one of the cheapest, coolest USB microphone that I actually recommend for beginners, especially if you are on a budget. You're gonna love that one. It's gonna be here. But I'm also gonna be testing this Maono PM500 XLR mic, and the video should be somewhere here, so check it out.